teetering on the brink stands on the now precipice, look shaking its dark abyss, on the brink, trying to sit. Where do I sit? Sit where? Teetering on the brink, incapacitated, debilitated on the brink, hoping for salvation on the brink. This nation has no hesitation about putting us all on the brink. No standardization for education. My child, your child, they're all on the brink. Bad men with guns scream through the tube. Shoot a fool, shoot a spick, shoot some niggas, shoot a Catholic, shoot some mix. Next, shoot your mama. Why quick? Go to the schoolyard, shoot some kids. On the brink. My world, your world, on the brink of war. The scoreboard, you know, the score. Got to make the score that brings you to alleys, shooting galleries, rooftops, avoiding cops. You know the score. Overdosing yourself, overdosing.
Dear Mother, sad to say, but I'm glad you and Father are dead. Today, you would have died from high blood pressure or just plain old heartbreak. Your first inclination, of course, would have been to wonder how your country returned to its current position. You, Mother, always said the country was making great strides to move forward. It would break your heart now to see and to hear how the country is backsliding. Mother, you once said, if everyone were colorblind, how would you know? Today, Mother, I realize it wouldn't matter if people were colorblind, because those that are bigots and racists would just hate, even if it were the sound of someone's voice, or the way one walked, or the way someone combed their hair. It just wouldn't matter. And they would teach their children to hate. I remember, Pop, how for the longest time you never gave any of your children any of your history. Your reasons, of course, were you didn't want us to know that you were an illegal immigrant, that you arrived on a boat and that you jumped ship. You fought in the Second World War, and it wasn't until I, as an older teenager, having peeked into your dresser drawers without your knowledge, did I find out about all your heroics. Your battlefield medals and awards told the tale. How pained and dishonored you would feel today knowing that you and all of your Second World War comrades fought and died for the preservation of freedom. and the eradication of an evil that was so pervasive at the time that millions of innocent souls perished. You once said, if you want to make this country truly yours, you must be willing to fight for it. So I did. Now, for you and thousands of others, I feel shame that the current president of your country, that he wouldn't fight for, now coddles, and he is in bed with those you fought against, and he holds them in some regard. You, Pop, bled and cried, and a great many of your comrades died in fields and tread across foreign cities, never to see home again. I am happy, Mother, that you and Pop didn't have to witness Charlottesville, Virginia, and would have had to have seen what appears to have been reminiscent of the March of Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. And I didn't have to see the pain in your eyes.
Note on a refrigerator door. There is something medicinal about sometimes being totally bummed out. For one thing, it gets your head out of the clouds. For another, your sense of appreciation when you come out will have a whole other meaning and how. Dear me, it's been quite some time since I've written to you. Not that you aren't still interesting, but life has caught up to you. But first, before I go on, me, I think it would be beneficial if we set some ground rules. I don't think it's necessary to make this one of those end-of-the-year letters that many people send out. You know the kind. The chain letter that you get from family or from friends that give you all of 1 year's information in a letter. Because they were too lazy during the course of the year to stay in touch. That one lone letter you dread getting. The letter that is notoriously filled with health problems that were had, newborns that dropped, and the oh so many wonderful vacation trips taken, and who recently died, and the reason some distant family member is getting a divorce. No, we won't make this that kind of letter. This letter is only being written to remind yourself that you still exist, in spite of life's ups and downs and your minor or major accomplishments. Unless they've helped someone else, they're only your accomplishments. Remember, a handout is as important, if not more so. Remember, you have to love yourself before you can really love someone else. And try to remember, as difficult as it might be, that kindness still rules. So take your own advice and be kind to yourself. And me, remember the word glue. When you think it's all falling apart, family is the glue that can help you hold it all together. Well, it's been nice hearing from you again, me. Though it's been a while. Let's try and write more frequently to one another. Take care of yourself, me.
Note from the refrigerator door. Dear Mom and Dad, sorry, but I'm running away.
Note from the refrigerator door. Dear daughter, you weren't gone very long. I recently painted and rented your room. The couch in the cold, empty basement is what you can use.
Note from the refrigerator door. Images come and go. Ah, but the sweet sound of music is like stickiest glue. It stays stuck to your soul.
To the Department of the Interior. Dear Sir, or Madam, when the mountains go, where does the doe go to hide? When the trees are all felled, how will the soil survive? The majestic view from the mountain top, it will cease to exist unless you're standing on an asphalt rooftop, your feet sizzling and blistering. Where will the birds go to nest? Where will the water fall from? The fireflies and the bees, where will they go to hum when the mountains go? There will be no shelter for Mother Bear and her cubs. They'll have to find somewhere else to go, to be out of the frigid winter snow. Where will you get your wildflowers? write your love notes, and leave your initials on a tree. Tread down a wooden path. Hear the crunching dried leaves beneath your feet. Have the absolute feeling that your soul is naked and open, so totally free that you've come to know the true nature of peace. When the mountains go.
Dear Sir or Madam, regarding your letter, when the mountains go, we here in the department are just as concerned as the public. We've taken a considerable amount of time to investigate that ours and your environment, which includes wildlife, forestry, and our fisheries, are well maintained. That commercial development doesn't destroy or impede our beautiful lands or wetlands for the sake of profit. We often find ourselves in a terrible conundrum that is progress, development, and future employment. In short, we don't know where the dough goes. Thank you for your letter of concern.
Long note on the refrigerator. There on the couch, curled up as you are, your youthful bloom still intoxicates. Those patchwork islands of gray that slowly flower your hair fill you with luster, only add to your mystery. How the sun still brightens your eyes, and the late night exotic moon still heats your blood with burning desire and lights your eyes with fire.
To whom it may concern. That's it. I'm done. I resign. I am absolutely through. I am done with you. I am out of here. Don't look for me. I can't tell you how through I am. I am just done, 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 done. You've taken my ethics, killed my resolve, corrupted me, so I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. You've hurt me, embittered me, and you don't see it. So I am out of here. I am handing in my resignation. I no longer have the desire or feel the slightest obligation. I can no longer stand to look at you or adhere to the things you would have me do. Can you feel it? I'm through. I am packed up and checking out. Don't you doubt for 1 minute that you are not the loser. Yes, you are the loser because you are a loser even though I am the one walking out. You know I am not a quitter. But I am done with you, so you lose. This brief letter, you may want to say, is meaningless to you. But then that's your style, to act as if nothing touches you. But I know, and you know, the blues will eat deep down inside of you because the one thing you can't stand in life is the feeling of being a loser. But today, today, you lose.
Note on the refrigerator door. If weeping would remove any pain, then weep. If one of the many tears cried would remove the blood stains, then cry. But until men change their hearts, all the crying and weeping is very deceiving.
Dear School Superintendent, we hope it's raining on your head, motherfucker. Running down your face, motherfucker. Drenching your mama, motherfucker. Soul food is a motherfucker. Ain't that a fine motherfucker? What's happening, motherfucker? Got what you need, motherfucker. Why you sure enough is a motherfucker? Ain't that right, motherfucker? What the fuck is wrong with you, motherfucker? You don't like the way we write? All these motherfuckers making you uptight? Well then, spend some money in the black educational school system. Ain't that a motherfucking thought? Cause, yo baby, yo, we don't got to dope. Yesterday, you introduced us to death, motherfucker. Hundreds of years ago. And tomorrow, your policeman will introduce us again. Somewhere in between is a loss of identity, motherfucker, with no rope or string to cling to, motherfucker. Confused, motherfucker? Also you. One step in the world of towers, 2 feet in the world of squalor. Check it out, motherfucker. Your most endearing quality is that of a lying cheat. Having said that, we will endeavor not to ever again call you a motherfucker. Motherfucker.
Teetering on the brink stand on the now precipice, look, shaking and dark abyss. On the brink, trying to fit where where, teetering on the brink, incapacitated, debilitated on the brink, hoping for salvation on the brink. This nation has no hesitation about putting us all on the brink. No standardization for education. My child, your child, they're all on the brink. Madmen with guns scream through the tube. Shoot a fool, shoot a spit, shoot some niggas, shoot a captain, shoot some mix. Next, shoot your mom. Why quick? Go to the schoolyard, shoot some kids. On the brink, on the brink, on the brink. My world, your world, on the brink of war. The scoreboard, you know, score. Got to make the score that brings you to alleys, shooting galleries, rooftops, boys and cops. You know the score. Overdosing yourself, overdosing unborn babies. You know the score. On the brink, there's humiliation, degradation, pimping, tricking, and jobs. On the brink of starvation, while Uncle Sam swears he's giving you a helping hand. Though politicians are taking wonderful trips to Neverland, you're on the brink. Some CEO feeds his fat cat caviar, while others are laid off in the unemployment line, standing there bending their lives, trying to figure out how they ever got so far behind. Right now, their children are crying the blues. Daddy, we all need new shoes. On the brink, economists forecast better trends. It's a bear market, upward spiral, upward taxes. You contemplate suicide. On the brink, locked in there on the brink. Gang wars for asphalt turf. Cops knives gone berserk, wilding in the streets. On the brink, what's the solution to pollution? Tap water is acid rain, noxious fumes, toxic droplets. Visit Love Canal, say goodbye to Chernobyl. See, they went over the brink. Don't you know that?
Dear parents, you argue diligently with your children, day and night and night and day. You've become a hammer hammering away. Your children begin to dislike you, but you continue to hammer anyway. Night and day and day and night, you hammer away. You say, be respectful. Don't be a bully. Leave your bigotry out of reach. Leave it in a closet and nail it or weld it shut. Extend a hand. Be a charitable person. Be the very best that you can. And then what happens? Along comes a billionaire, a poser, a man named Trump. Now you have to double your efforts. Increase the volume. No slacking off. Work tirelessly. There can be no vacation planned. You have got to show that kindness hasn't gone down the drain. So you work day and night and night and day, hoping that you're a good parent, hoping that you found the way, because you're putting in the hours from dawn to dusk, trying to show your children that there is good in all of us, good in every faith. But it takes work, both night and day, and unfortunately, you've got to be the loving parent and the hammer too, because there are terrible, powerful forces and work the very worst examples out in plain view. In prestige positions today that want to undermine, that want to erode and corrupt the good you do and the good things you say. So you've got to continue to hammer away, and the good Lord knows you've got to keep the faith.
Dear Elaine, I've become abundantly aware of the distance between us. With each passing day, the divide widens, much to my despair. This note, this letter comes to you bearing a simple request. It comes with a hope and a very silent prayer that the rift between us we can somehow manage to repair. You have wings. You have lived and bore the burden of wanting to soar, but my eyes couldn't see into your soul. The flame you carry. You had the need, the burning desire to lift yourself up, to grow, and to explore. And I somehow managed selfishly not to see the yearning. Blindly, I chose to ignore. I now bear the weight of your disappointment. And now you bear the burden of our fate, which I hope you choose not to terminate.
My dearest, I realize that my opening salutation is unexpected, as is this letter. War, fear, and the sounds of war put life in a whole new perspective. This letter will not go into the graphic details of the burdens of war, but yes, there are the burdens of war. And the number one burden is to stay alive. Outside of that, there is the burden of always thinking of the things that never got said. And the burden and fear that they might never get said. As I said earlier, in the midst of war, life and all its foibles, they have a whole different light. How easy it is to remember strolling down a lane, a narrow street with you, hand-holding, and taking that small, what we think of as an inconsequential act, for granted. I never told you how fresh you always seem to smell. But the harsh smell here that's forever burning my nostrils has me longing for your sweet scent. There are sounds here that I'm sure I'll never forget. Sometimes they're distant. At other times the earth rattles beneath me and the sounds feels as if they will puncture my eardrums. Strange as it may seem, I have found myself at those times humming your favorite tune to keep myself calm. Your favorite song has now become my favorite song. When we are covered here in the light of the moon, I remember standing on the shoreline, the waves lapping, and the light of the moon flooding over you, and I thought it but never said it. That I love you, and I do. There are icy men and women here. Perhaps that's how they manage their fear. I try to keep a mental picture of you and the time under a warm sun you walked through the field, picking wildflowers. I realize this letter and its contents are unexpected, but the burden of having the words that were never spoken is too much to carry. Nothing is expected from you, as I should have said these things long ago, and not from some distant shore. But war puts life in a whole new perspective. Quickly we learn that the things we've taken for granted we shouldn't have. Be well and take care. Yours, from the field.
Hello, sweetheart.
There is a cadence that the soldiers sing when they're marching, and it goes something like this.
Ain't no need in going home, Joey's got your girl and gone.
You haven't written in some time now, and I just can't help but wonder. It seems, with the exception of married men and women, and those with children, that don't suffer from this chronic affliction. But those that are single and in relationships, if a letter or email message doesn't arrive, well, funny thing about letters, and that particular time of day, which is mail call. Those soldiers you can't find throughout the day always seem to show up right on time for mail call. This being the electronic age, and now with computers in the field, mail call is still mail call. Only now with time limits, and visuals, and Skype. But you haven't written in some time now, and I check my mail and email with regularity. But not to worry. I have a bunch of Facebook friends, and am building relationships. In fact, you and I have several mutual friends. Several of your girlfriends have been private messaging me. And for that, I am grateful. Since you haven't written in some time now.
Hello, my love. There is nothing in this letter that is noteworthy. We have half an hour before we set off again. There is no way of describing to you that which I carry. Nothing written here can prepare your mind for what is seen by me, or the emotions I feel. No words, absolutely no words can describe the terror and the impulse to run, to follow the river, and be very far away from all this death and destruction. There's a perpetual state of confusion. As if walking blindly through a very dark tunnel and hearing unseen voices and feeling their shadows, knowing that for any moment a blinding blue-orange flash of muzzle fire can terminate your very existence, your own existence. You, my love, you probably won't ever get to read this letter. I only write it because I can't share. If I can't share my fear with you, then who with? The soldiers here, they're much too busy not allowing their fear to be witnessed by anyone. And I am a member of that particular club too. So, for now, this terrible letter will join the others in my pocket that I have written to you. I'll keep sending you love poems to show my continued love for you.
Your letter arrived today, just after I returned from a long walk under a brilliant blue sky and a sun that's at its height. Your letter kissed my heart. I was more than overjoyed to receive it, though we've never met or spoken. I blushed and felt warm all over. It was as if we had spent many a night together. Though we've agreed not to write of the war, I plead for you to keep yourself safe and out of harm's way. Though to be engaged in a war of any type is truly beyond my comprehension.
You asked to share in my intimate thoughts, that I would if I could, but I do hold another dear, and the conflicting emotions would do nothing but bring on unwelcome tears. I'm writing this to you from the backyard as I sit on the porch swing with the pungent smell of the green grass from yesterday's rain. My younger brother and sister are totally unaware of its dampness, or that I'm even here. They play without fear because of what you and the other boys sacrifice. We here hold you lovingly in our hearts and keep our thoughts of you fresh and dear. I would hope that your next letter is without the dirt of the foxhole, that there would be a desk and lamplight near. Short of that at least your skies remain clear of those storms that soldiers fear. Be well and safe.
Dear Sam, I've cringed for the last time in the corner where rats grovel and worms crawl. I've puked for the last time at the sound of my name. Felt ashamed. Had your time, now I'll have mine. I've done with the blues. I want to spin a potter's wheel for love. Sunflowers, aquamarines, pinks that don't come with a battered eye. I've done your worthlessness, tirades, the bottom of your shoes, perverted acts of sex you call love. I've grown to know I don't need you. Finally, all the minutia, the heartbreak, the tears, the blind hurt and the bitter sorrow, through the betrayal, the anger, and feeling like there would never be a tomorrow. Daylight, which I knew would come. Daylight. This proud heart is no longer on the run. Daylight. Now I'm capable of standing in the sun. It's bittersweet to know that the old flame has burned out and I'm moving on. Daylight. My skies are now bright and clear. The blues are all gone. I've come out of my darkest night minutia, the heartbreak, the tears, the blah, 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 blah. See ya.
Thank you.
Okay, now.
I apologize. You know, I said today that you try to prepare for everything. You think about it. You think your way through it. You dream about it. And damn. Me, I'm the one, right? Completely forgot. Oh, and someone thankfully. So I apologize. And thank them, please.
Teetering on the brink stands on the now precipice, look shaking and stalk the bit. On the brink, trying to fit. Where do I fit? Fit where? Teetering on the brink.